Hashtag save Melee, hashtag save Smash, hashtag even save Splatoon. Nintendo has goofed up again, and I'm here to talk today about what do they need to do going forward to make this right. Hey everyone, my name is Luke from WTP Esports, here again to talk about Nintendo and their constant failures with their competitive scenes. Now, of course, you probably know what has happened, but in case, here's just a quick rundown of what's gone on lately. First, it all kind of snowballed from the Big House Tournament, a Melee event being canceled, shut down by Nintendo saying, hey, you're using this illegal Slippy program to play Melee online. It encourages illegal copies of the game, blah, blah, blah. They shut it down. And I've heard people try to back Nintendo and say, you know, Melee is such an old game. They are using it in a way it's not meant to be intended from Nintendo. You know, whatever, just get over it. It's not that big of a deal. And while I can see that side of the argument, there is another tweet, a tweet longer from an anonymous smasher. And they just go through how Nintendo has hurt the Smash scene over and over again. It's not just about Melee, it's about every game since, and even now with Smash Ultimate. I'm going to link the tweet longer in the description if you want to go read it yourself. It's pretty long, but essentially Nintendo has had many opportunities to work with the community, many opportunities even to partner with Red Bull and Twitch, these giant companies, to evolve Smash into an epic esport that it deserves to be. Now from there, of course, the free Melee, the Save Smash hashtags have been trending. Even Splatoon players decided to rally with their Smash Nintendo buddies, and they all dropped out of the NA Open, the final 4 teams, and instead they pretty much just said, screw you Nintendo, we're going to go do our own thing with in-game TV. It worked out great because it was the biggest Splatoon event ever with 8,000 viewers. I don't know if you guys watched it, and $28,000 donated. Nothing has ever happened like this in the Splatoon scene. We've even gotten on the front page of things like .esports. The first time I've ever seen Nintendo up on those big named esport scenes. Now, I'm more of a Splatoon player and a Splatoon host myself. I'm just dabbling now into Smash, so I don't really understand it from that side. But even some of the Smash players are like, you know what, Splatoon players, they get it good. Nintendo supports them, which, of course, Splatoon players went to Twitter and said, hey, guys, we don't have it easy either. Let's join forces. Let's take down Nintendo. Let's use our voices heard. Because, yes, Nintendo might sponsor, like, the NA Open, but it's such a joke. I mean, to really invest in an esports scene, you gotta pour money into it. You gotta pour rewards into it, prize pool money. A copy of ARMS, an outdated game that no one cares about on the Switch, that Nintendo isn't really even paying for because they own the game. Giving out free copies of like that, that's not a true reward. And of course, yes, this time around they're going to give out trophies, but still, I mean, that's not a big enough reward, where a lot of these top esports scenes, when the best teams are playing against the best teams, they're playing for hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not of $1 million prize pool. Now, of course, I don't think Splatoon deserves that because they're a much smaller scene, but to grow the scene, Nintendo needs to actually give it something. So I don't have all the answers for Nintendo. Obviously, I don't have the answers for most things. But here's the one thing I think that would help that Nintendo could do, and it's such an easy thing. If they did this one thing, we could all be a lot happier. It's the simple thing of communication. That's right, you heard me. Communication. Not about sending out more money, not about setting up events. Just communicate what you want. You see, Nintendo has always been a company that has been secretive in their marketing, and that's kind of the fun, exciting thing. They bring out things when you don't expect it. They bring out twists, and they kind of always surprise you. And that's worked great. That's how they've built their brand over the last few decades into the, big gaming industry that it is. However, this doesn't work for a competitive scene. If you want a competitive scene to grow, you have to tell us what you want. Competitive scenes need information. They need to know what you expect from us, how we can do tournaments and esports with your consent. If you're not going to support it, just tell us. And I've heard the argument, hey, Nintendo has a right to do whatever they want with their games. If they don't want competitive scenes to be made, then that's their choice. And I agree, Nintendo has all the power in the world to do whatever they want with their games. They made it. It's their licenses. Sure, Nintendo, do whatever you want, but tell us what you want. If you don't want people making competitive scenes with your games, then tell us that. Tell us we only care about casual players. We're not going to care about you guys. Go and do your own thing. Or, hey, we don't like competitive scenes. We don't believe in competitive gaming. So please don't be competitive with our games. Which I would say, if that's Nintendo's stance, then why are you making competitive games? Like, don't make a fighter game. Don't make a shooter game. Stick to things like Pikmin or Mario. Like, why are you so upset about people wanting to be competitive with your games? If that's not your vision for gaming, fine. Then tell us that. It's a joke that they're just stringing us along, letting these natural grassroots competitive scenes rise up. It's just saying, we'll kind of turn a blind eye to them. We don't really support that. We don't really like that. And then once it starts getting footing, once it's getting somewhere, Nintendo screws up time and time again, either shutting things down, delaying things, or not working with these brands that want to work with them. It's sad to see competitive organizers constantly pouring into Nintendo games and then being shut down or not supported in the correct ways. It's time for Nintendo to communicate. Come out, outright tell us, I don't want you to be competitive with our games. If that's the case, fine. I love Splatoon. I love Smash. I will leave those scenes. We'll go make esport leagues elsewhere. Just tell us that. If Nintendo truly does want competitive scenes, because I think competitive scenes really do grow the love of a game and the longevity of a game. We've seen it in League of Legends, CSGO, Rocket League, all these different games that continue to thrive. If Nintendo wants that, then they need to communicate with us. Even if they're not going to support it themselves, they need to say, here's what we expect if you're going to be competitive with our games. That's it. That's all I want. Is that so hard, Nintendo? Again, it's not all the answers, but it's just a step that Nintendo needs to make. And if they just start with a little communication, an apology, that would at least smooth over a lot of things going on right now. And until Nintendo does that, Nintendo competitive fans, don't stop raising your voice. Don't stop raising a ruckus. Tell Nintendo what you really think. Will it change anything? I don't know. But if we stop using our voices, then there's zero chance. If we keep raising up our voices, yelling at Nintendo, maybe there's a small 10% chance that things change around. But I know some of you guys are so in love, so passionate about your Nintendo games, and you want to be competitive with them. So my recommendation is don't stop trying. Don't stop yelling at Nintendo. Let's see if they actually communicate and tell us what they want. What are your thoughts? This is just one thought I had. What else does Nintendo need to do? I'm sure the list is huge. It, of course, goes way beyond communication. What are some ideas? What are some things that you guys would like to see from Nintendo as far as their competitive gaming scenes? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.